I've returned. After seeing the 100 subs, I thought, man, if I come back, bruh, I gotta bring the thunder, you know? So I made a game in 21 days, and you can play it for free. And this video will structure how I even got to that point. So let's get started. I've stopped the 2D village game and began working towards 3D, which I truthfully prefer. Then, I structured out a new project with a stealth idea. The game completely took a 90-degree turn, but originally I intended for a stealth game where the player would steal from a medieval town. The first step was setting up the movement and first-person camera, which I've already had some experience through the Noctis Warp Strike devlog. The difference here was that movement was relative not just to keyboard input, but to mouse drag as well. And I had to make sure the camera was always in sync with the frontal view of the player. This took quite some time, but here's the end product. I wanted to create a pixelated style, so after some research, I managed to do something along those lines. I implemented a player state machine, added a sprint combined with a subtle camera shake, and a crouch. Then I decided to create the enemy base with a detection system. How I think it will work is with a ray cast, which is like a line that shoots towards the direction this guy's looking at. I added an exclamation mark for when the player is spotted, created a waypoint path system, and finished with this. We got more width over here, we got less, we got spread. Dude, this is me, dude. I did this. So like the idea is, you know, I implemented a chase system and then took up learning Blender again. And after some practice, I tried implementing my own enemy model, giving it some particle effects to try and hide its ugliness. Then, realizing how long models would take, I got an asset pack for environment design. Since the asset pack doesn't use the lightweight render pipeline, I passed the project to a new one without it. Around this time, I teamed up again with my close friend and talented composer Emmanuel Segarra, where he designed some dark ambience background and sound effects for the enemy. I remembered the navigation component of Unity for pathfinding, so I had to discard my waypoint system and use that instead. So I've been working on a stealth system that works around the idea of stealth points. You lose 50 stealth points if the enemy spots you, and you lose stealth points every time you get closer. And if you're face to face, like really close, you lose 50 points as well. So if you get caught and you're face to face with the enemy, then you lose. I drew a GUI for the player to know when they've been seen, thus currently being chased, and another GUI to know how close the player is to the nearest enemy. This is the final result of that. After Emmanuel the composer provided the main menu composition, I created a terrain for a real-time rendered forest main menu. Then, another friend and artist named Kevin provided a press enter button. Implementing this and a transition between the menu and the game, we achieved the following. I took up Blender once again and learned a bit about texturing with UVs. So I made a house and implemented it to the game with a little Easter egg. Then I implemented a sound effect provided by Emmanuel for when you press the enter button. He suggested the idea of the player POV being a camera, which I found cool. So I began working on the graphical user interface and ended up with this for when you enter the game. It was then time to work on the level design, so I added a sort of walkie-talkie GUI with a supposed friend that'll talk to you throughout the game.
Hey, sorry I left like that.
Then, Emmanuel once again came up with a cool idea of using music boxes as sort of collectibles for the game, so I began modeling them and he began creating the melodies. I remembered I had Mixamo with my Adobe account, so I changed the enemy and added animations. I then implemented a zoom in and out feature for the camera. Then I added what could be surmised to be memories inside the music boxes. I made a better map for the game, populated it, and that's it. Well, not really, there's a lot of stuff I'm leaving behind, like the pause menu or the audio manager. The game is free to download on itch.io, I'll leave a link in the description below, and right now I'm currently contemplating the next project, but in the meantime, I'm signing out.